Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for staying inside to listen to all of us. My name is Richard Hanbury. I'm CEO of Sana Health. We have a neuromodulation device for mental health and chronic pain. This is the current device. We are yet another breakthrough device from the FDA, but hopefully closer to the end of our pivotal study, which is in about 5 weeks' time. Go-to-market is fibromyalgia, which is a $20 billion market in the US. FDA submission should be the end of June. And we'll be raising a Series A in Q4 once we have both the FDA approval and the proof that people will pay against that indication. So overall, 50 million people in chronic pain in America. Out of those, fibromyalgia is a very large chunk. Standard of care is currently 5 to 8 drugs minimum. And obviously there are lots of issues around polypharma and no improvement in quality of life amongst those solutions. So again, yeah, very large market. And fibromyalgia is a very large chunk of that pain market. So the current device itself, you put it on, you press play, and you're getting pulses of sound and light, which neuromodulating particular frequencies. We've got good clinical results in 4 pilots completed so far, and we have 2 RCTs underway, one large one at Duke on fibromyalgia and one at Mount Sinai on neuropathic pain. The device works by solving an issue called hemispheric balance, which basically put the larger the disparity between activity between the left and right hemisphere of the brain, the larger the degree of pain sensitivity. We showed in a recent clinical trial, reducing that hemispheric imbalance directly correlates with reducing perceptions of pain. Again, so against multiple other devices, what we're doing is this device is essentially an anxiety relief on-demand device, which means that we can go against any mental health area where anxiety is a component, so sleep, depression, anxiety. And we can go against any chronic pain where anxiety is a component. So in a fibromyalgia trial, we performed more than 5 times better than Lyrica, which is the best-selling drug. Lyrica sold roughly $2.5 billion to fibromyalgia in 2018, which is approximately half of their sales. 45% improvement in quality of life is totally unprecedented in this area. This was another representation of that FIQR result. FIQR stands for the Fibromyalgia Index Quotient. And this was the GAD-7, which is the anxiety portion within that study as well. So that pivotal study is now about to complete, so we'll have the data in June. And then it goes on to a health economic study, which will give us the data for reimbursement. It's basically 6 months of health economic spend compared to the 6 months prior to the study. We do believe we're going to give insurers a 2x ROI on pharmacy cost savings alone, and then on top of that, overall health expenditure and visits being much less as well. So we got the breakthrough submission. The de novo will be submitted by the end of June, and then we're hoping for approval in September. And then depending on what happens on the MCIT meeting next week as to what our reimbursement pathway looks like under the breakthrough status. So we are already on market as a wellness device. This has enabled us to build out our systems to actually check that we can deliver, that customer service can offer the support needed, and our churn is running at about 20% currently, total. And 80% of that churn happens by the 5th use. So essentially, if we get people using the device, they then keep the device, and so far we get almost 0 churn once someone has actually used the device 5 times if they've got a chronic pain condition. We've got a very healthy pipeline. The first 2 studies are already complete. The neuropathic pain study at Mount Sinai will be the next FDA submission. That'll be a 510(k). We're expecting to have that completed around about Q1 next year. The next 2 studies to start will be an anxiety study and a PTSD study. So again, we're crossing the spectrum of chronic pain and mental health where anxiety is a component. IP-wise, we've got one patent that was issued in 2019, which covers the use of combined audio-visual stimulation. And then the second patent was issued last year, the end of last year, which covers the feedback loop that will create a closed-loop feedback system. So we will be delivering a personalized signal to each person on every single use of the device. This is one of the major advantages of the advances in wearable sensors. And the sensor within this device, we've actually, for the next generation of device, co-developed a sensor which is better than anything that's currently available in any wearable, which will allow us to create very high quality heart rate variability data. So we'll be able to measure on every single person how we're actually performing in real time and exactly which algorithms are performing better on each individual, and then be able to create feedback loops. So those, whatever's working for an individual in the moment can be emphasized going forward. So that's that lot. Team-wise, I developed the first version of this to solve my own nerve damage pain problem back in 1992. I was forced to drive a Jeep off a bridge to avoid a head-on collision with a petrol truck. And that resulted in spinal injuries that has been in the wheelchair, plus TBI, plus aortic tear. And I had a nerve damage pain problem that gave me a 5-year life expectancy. So I developed the first device to solve my own problem, and it's been a 28-year journey since then. On my team, I've got a very, very good team around me. My COO has got 20 plus years of medtech experience with 4 successful exits. One of those exits was iDev that sold to Abbott, which she was on the top team with Steve Sanders when they sold that. And then Jeff Bauer came to us from Achille. So that's our team. Funding to date, we've raised 70 million so far. We'll be raising again in Q3 once we have FDA approval plus the data on ability to people's willingness to pay against that as well. And so that'll be a 20 million round, and we'll be raising that around about September time. So very much looking forward to talking to anybody who would like to start building a relationship for that time. So I'm a little bit under time, but thank you very much all for your time, and I look forward to whoever comes after me. I think it's Carla Health.